How y'all doing? It's your girl, Yasiva. And Knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. I appreciate all of you who have just recently subscribed to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. Again, I appreciate y'all, subscribing and sharing and liking the video. Those of you who are my A1s from day ones, my regulars, my full-time church members, never miss any Bible study, never miss any Sunday school, King Bob, the Torian, Queen of the South, a lot of y'all, y'all show up or y'all show out, y'all always, bringing that positive energy, and I really appreciate y'all for that. But I thought it was imperative that I discuss today's new recipe, today's new content. So what is on the menu? Today I wanted to discuss the demonic struggle of the content creator. Nevertheless, YouTube is growing more and more each day. You have a lot of people that are becoming content creators. And it's good in the sense that we have a lot of people that are coming out and, creating and building platforms based on different narratives. And I think it's important that we have a variety. It's not good if we just have content creators that keep preaching the same narratives, keep speaking upon the same content, promoting the same messages. So it's good to have a variety, even if you don't like some of the narratives that are being pushed or some of the content that is being distributed. We do need a variety because none of us get to pick and decide what we feel is good content creators and what we feel is not a good content creator. Who decides that? It's the audience, it's the followers, it's the viewers. It's you guys and you ladies that are making the ultimate decision as far as who you feel has enough of knowledge that is of good quality in order for you to keep viewing. And if you feel like it's garbage, it's going to reflect by you not being as supporting, or you not subscribing to, or in some cases unsubscribing, so nevertheless, I want to talk about the demonic of the content creators. Because myself, I am a content creator. I've been doing this since 2017. And I started, doing my movement based on a certain situation that took place. I had a male content creator who I had really admired and respected I respected his content and I respected his craft. And he was very, very popular in one of the manosphere spaces. Nevertheless, he had a particular episode in which he allowed women to call in. And this was not, Samuels, by the way. This was way before Samuels even blew up and, became well known. But this was a particular guy that was, really leading the manosphere space. And he had a lot of great leadership abilities. He could be harsh at times. His delivery was very harsh, to say the least. But he kept it a buck. He kept it 100. And, some people respect that. Some people consider that truth as long as you're brassy and you're arrogant and you're loud and you're rude. Some people perceive that as masculinity. They see as you being masculine, based on your tone, your swag, how you put women in check. Some people, they respect that. And he was definitely one of those guys that a lot of men respected because he always was very transparent based on his opinion with women. So black women particularly. So I remember he had a question and he made it to where women could call in. And I remember I was in a chat room and I was giving my opinions, and I had a couple of guys saying, well, why don't you call in? Why don't you call in? Why don't you just call in? And I didn't really feel comfortable with calling in because I saw his delivery with women and his rudeness. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to put myself in a position. But nevertheless, I'm thinking, well, this guy has a huge platform, so I can't see him taking the time to belittle me or attack me based on an opinion, as long as I'm being respectful. And I'm not coming at him in a rude manner, trying to test his manhood, because men do not like when women challenge them, especially in front of their male audience, in front of their viewers. So I've always been very cautious of my delivery when I approach men in a certain manner. You know what I'm saying? And being married for 22 years, I know that women, it's a certain way you have to hold a dialogue when it comes to men. You can't be too aggressive, but at the same time, you can't be so docile to where you're not confident in your approach and your delivery. So anyway, nevertheless, I called the show and I gave him my perspective, and I was respectful. I didn't say anything out of pocket, and he basically he used that moment to pretty much to try to destroy me, and um my credibility, just based on a difference in opinion. I didn't come up there saying nothing out of pocket, calling him all type of derogatory names or saying anything disrespectful to him. Uh, I guess he saw that as an opportunity because he wanted to prove to his male audience that um, this is how you put women in check. And again, once you start that narrative, you have to keep your foot on a person's neck. If you start a narrative that, black men ain't shit, you got to keep your neck on black men. The moment you let your foot up just a little bit, it's going to be sisters that's going to chastise you and say you're not genuine, you're not real, you're not all of who you are, or you're not really genuine in your teaching and preaching. And the same way with being a male content creator. If you constantly push narratives that consist of you putting your neck on black women, you have to keep that same energy, even if she's being polite, even if she's acting like she got some common sense. Because truth be told, um not all sisters are at a point in which they want to challenge black men. And the reason I say that is because um you have women who have experienced all levels of abuse, whether if it was through a father or uncle or whatever. And anytime you've experienced some type of abuse as a woman, it's not just that factor. If you've been raised in a household where you are taught to respect men, such as myself, I've had my fathers in my life, and my mother has always displayed um um how to allow a man to be a man, but at the same time not being a pushover, in order for her to allow him to have that privilege of leading her. So uh but notice to the narratives, the myths that are being pushed, that black women don't know how to behave. We don't know how to dress ourselves. We don't know how to stay in our lane. Truth be told, it's a lot of us that um are doing just that, staying in our lane, and because we don't want to be attacked. It's a lot of us that are fretful of being attacked. Now you do have some sisters that don't have any respect for black men, and not just for black men, they don't have respect for other black women. I've had my share where I've gotten into it. I fell out with black women over a difference in opinion. So it's not just an issue that black men go through. Hell, black women go through it with black women. A lot of the things that I speak upon, a lot of topics I hit upon, I'm talking about single moms, and stuff like that. It rubs these sisters the wrong way in some instances. So, all of us gonna catch some type of heat with one another, regardless of what position you're in. So, um, nevertheless, that's digressing. I made sure, you know what I'm saying, I conducted myself in a womanly manner. And it didn't matter how much I conducted myself, he felt the need to put his foot on my neck, because again, he knows this particular content creator knew that, and again, it's not Mr. Samuels, because I never called into his show and I never was a follower. I was never a member. I only saw some of his things through snippets from other content creators. But like they say, if you don't follow something and you don't agree with something, don't follow it, don't watch it, don't view it. It's as simple as that. And that's what I do. I don't follow people that I think are speaking on things that are very biased or are very negative. And I'm not going to punch nobody in the gut who speaks on things that I don't like. I just don't follow them. And believe it or not, it's a lot of females out here who just don't follow certain male content creators. And the same thing, you got a lot of men who just don't follow certain female content creators because they know that female content creator does not have the best interest of black men. So therefore, they don't follow, they don't support. And it is only perfect sense. You don't support, don't follow anybody who disrespects you or disrespect people that are similar to you or share the same struggles as you. It's as simple as that. So again, he was very rude and disrespectful. So um, he made a mockery out of me calling into his show to ask him a simple question. And again, he didn't feel that he owed that to me to be respectful because again, he's become the mascot of teaching other black men you don't have to respect black women regardless of what. So I get it. That's his platform. He has a right to decide what he wants. So to do and how, going to somebody's platform is like going to their house. You take a chance. You're going to somebody's house and they invite you. It's a chance that you can get disrespected. You can be talked to all kind of way. You're in that person's territory. You're in that person's residence. You don't get to dictate how they treat you and how they talk to you. And that's the same way these platforms work. And that is why ever since I had that particular situation with this individual, it motivated me to start my own content because I want to build a place and a space in which men and women can feel comfortable and coming to. So rather than sitting around bickering or trolling his channel, you know, or talking greasy, putting him on my titles because I want to earn some of his supporters. I want to earn some of his clout. I just said, you know what? I am not going to let this situation make me bitter or broken. I'm going to take this situation and use it to my advantage and learn that it's very imperative that we treat people with kindness and respect because you don't know what people are going through. You may have somebody reaching out to you that's on the urge of suicide, that's on the urge of giving up. So you don't kick somebody down because you don't know if they're at a very vulnerable moment. And a lot of these content creators have become so comfortable with just kicking people and poking the bear, and you don't realize that you have somebody calling into your show. You got somebody that's reaching out to you. Yeah, some people reaching out because they really want help, and you got others that just want attention. Whatever the case may be, just because you have that type of level of authority, you just have to be careful with how you utilize it, because you don't know if that person in that you're talking to is already feeling suicidal. It's already, in need of psychiatric help, so you got to be delicate with these things. And this is why I want to talk about this particular situation, about the downfall of the demonic struggle of the content creator, because as a content creator, especially when your channel becomes more huge and your channel becomes more successful and you gain more followers, you gain more um um notoriety, your channel is starting to get a lot more recognition through the algorithms and things of that nature. We have to realize we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility. We are responsible. Once you put yourself in a position where you start to put out certain narratives or you're putting out certain messages, putting out certain content, you are automatically responsible for what you put out there. And if you put out whatever you put out, that's what you're going to get back. I feel like if you put out a lot of negativity, you're going to get back negativity. You put out a lot of positivity, you're going to get a lot of positivity. Now, all of us are different when it comes to what we consider truth and what we consider toxic. Every toxic is not truth, and every truth is not toxic. It's as simple as that. But you have grown men and grown women getting in their feelings because you have people who will not accept their truth or their toxicity. It's one or the other. you know. And this is what I want a lot of men and women to understand. Regardless of whatever content creators you follow, whatever ones you respect, don't respect, including me, I'm no exception to the rule. Realize that all of us are encountering some type of demonic struggle. No matter how much knowledge we kick, no matter how much we seem like we got it well together, um, we seem that we have a high bracket of intellect. Whatever your reasonings for following certain content creators and becoming members of certain platforms, behind closed doors, we all are struggling with something. And the truth is, you're going to have some content creators that are going to be transparent and say, you know what, I struggle with, seeking approval, seeking validation. Unfortunately, what has become a common thing with a lot of content creators is a lot of content creators are not being transparent with their audience. In other words, they're not sharing their real struggles. They're not sharing why they got so much animosity towards black men. They're not sharing why they got so much resentment against black women. They're just basically going in on a particular gender, and they're not saying why. And the thing is, they're not even coming up with a solution. They're just consistently, going in on a certain group of individuals saying what black men need to do, what black women need to do, but it's not too many that's getting down to the cause of it. They don't want to look and do the conductive research as to what's causing black women to behave in a manner they behave in, or what's causing black men to behave in a manner. It's not about that. It's about bashing, trashing, and saying whatever you have to say to make your audience respect your truth, which is really toxic. So if you know the majority of your followers support you, they cheer for you, they applaud you, give you a round of applause as long as you're attacking a certain group, you will become more consumed with preaching and teaching the narratives that your audience like versus teaching and preaching on the narratives that your audience needs. But furthermore, a lot of content creators who's putting out all of these wonderful messages, putting out this wonderful content that y'all admire, that y'all respect because it's going in on the people who you have the least amount of respect for. What we're not understanding is your content creator, just like a pastor over a congregation, just like a CEO over a company, doesn't matter their position, their title, or how much they know. They could even know more than you. They can even have more knowledge than you in certain areas. But as human beings, behind closed doors, content creators are struggling. And it's unfortunate that once you put yourself out there, you have to keep preserving a certain image that you have portrayed, because the moment one of your followers or one of your foes finds out you're not living the lifestyle that you claim to live, you're not getting all these women like you pretend that you are, you're not getting all these men you don't have all these men checking for you like you pretend you do, or you got all this money, you're not in a struggle, and all it takes is for something to happen where your arch enemies, your ops, um get a hold of some information that is not in alignment with the things that you have been teaching and preaching, and here it is, now your audience is looking at you in a different light. For instance, you got like you got all this money and all of this and all of that, and the moment something happens or somebody get a hold of your bank statement and put that you only got $10, or you get all these women, and then they find out the women you get ain't that cute and attractive, it taints the reputation that you presented yourself to be. In other words, what I'm saying is, content creators, once we portray an image, people look for you to uphold that. People look for you to maintain that. And the moment there's any type of exposure that you're not living up to what you have portrayed yourself to live up to, it starts to make your audience lose respect for you. They start unsubscribing, kind of like with the Derek Jackson situation. Remember, he acted like he had so much respect and admiration for women, and women needed to be treated like queens, until we found out he was treating his queen like garbage. Now, I find it ironic that when certain content creators get exposed, we give who we want to choose to give a pass to. Things come out, little exposures come out, and we overlook it or we justify it. But if it's a content creator we don't like, we're going to magnify that mistake. We're going to make sure that it's highlighted. We don't want them getting a pass. We don't want people trying to condone or cover it. And that's why when Derek Jackson's situation came out, a lot of people came out full force. They couldn't wait. They was glad that he got exploited. His marriage got exploited, because that was their point of proving to their followers. It's followers that see he's garbage. You black women are running behind somebody who's so great and so wonderful, and look at him. He let y'all down. He was none of what y'all thought he was. And anytime you have a certain content creator that is pushing for a certain group of people, and there's another group of people who don't respect the people that they're doing content that's in the good graces for, anytime you got content creators that's doing content that is brutal to opposite group of people, people can't wait for that content creator to get caught up in some type of scandal. Because once a content creator is caught up in a scandal, it takes away all the credibility. It taints the package that they presented. And what it does is it makes the followers look bad. Like, this that person y'all been following. Y'all, you black women up here were worshiping this man, and he was dragging y'all through the mud. Or now you got black women, okay, y'all up here worshiping and praising this person, and this is what happened. This is what's going on. This is this and that. And it just basically boils down to the fact, as a content creator, we all are struggling with something behind closed doors. See, I look at things from a bigger picture. You have a lot of black men and black women, they get happy, they get their jollies off once a content creator that they don't like or don't respect, because that content creator is speaking on the things that they feel is disrespectful to a certain group of people. It comes a point in which people get so consumed on on the fact that their favorite content creator is going in on certain individuals. But what they're not understanding is, your favorite content creator does not have his shit or her shit all well together. And the quicker y'all realize that, y'all won't be putting these women on a pedestal or these men on the pedestal. Because when things start coming out about a certain individual, you as a follower, it makes you look like you didn't make the best judgment on who you trusted to instill a certain level of knowledge and intelligence into you. And this is basically what's going on. As a content creator, it takes a lot to maintain your image. If you are constantly going in on a certain group of people, you bet not dare let them catch you slipping. You bet not dare let them catch you tripping. You bet not dare. Because the moment they see you slipping, they are going to put it out there full force, because they want to prove a point to your followers that are so die hard and don't believe you can't do no wrong. As human beings, you have to give other human beings the room to disappoint you. You have to give them room to fail you. And as a content creator, it's very imperative that if you're going to put out narratives, you also address that. Wait a minute, I ain't 100%. I don't got my shit all together too. I'm struggling with things behind closed doors too. But when you put up this persona of perfectionism, like you so damn clean, you so spotless, to where nobody can't say nothing about you. Nobody can't call you out on nothing. When you start putting yourself in that position of where you're so invincible because you're spotless, you kind of make yourself a target. It's like anybody who makes themselves feel like they're so above. It's not just your followers who may admire you, who may love the fact that you feel like you are above the law, but it's the ops that's going to somehow in some way prove to you and your audience and your followers, your diehard cult members, that you're not all of what you pretend to be. Like I tell people, no matter how successful you become, your enemies, they double on that. In other words, you can have 10 people who admire you, right? But guess what? For the 10 people that admire you, it's going to be 20 who can't stand your ass. And they waiting for the moment or the day for you to slip. And a lot of these content creators, they know that can happen. That's why you have a lot of content creators that are threatening other content creators. Don't dox me. Don't dox me. A lot of content creators don't want to be doxxed. They don't want, and it's not, and I get it, it's a privacy thing. Nobody wants their business exploited or their family members exposed. I get it. But at the same time, a lot of these content creators are threatening other content creators that they're going to lawyer up if they dox them or whatever, because they know if certain things about their lifestyle was to come out, the audience that's supporting them or rocking with them, they will lose that support. But they're not going to tell the followers that. They're just going to say, well, it's disrespectful to dox people. You weak, you lame, you less than a man or a woman if you got to dox me. No, what they're really saying is, I know I got some shit in my closet that's not quite right. And I don't want nobody putting putting stuff out there that can make me lose out on a certain amount of followers because I presented a certain package that is not authentic. And that's just something we have to be mindful of. Again, a lot of content creators, y'all don't know what they're going through to try to keep themselves in good standing with the followers. It's a lot. The more followers you got, that's the more people ass you got to kiss. I'm going to be frank with you. Everybody who's so happy that they got 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers. Guess what? That's 20, 30,000 people you cannot piss off. That's 20, 30,000 people who expect you to stay in the box that you're staying in, to keep preaching the same narratives you've been preaching, keep beating that same dead horse. So if you want to grow and you want to expand and you want to do other things, out of those 20 and 30,000 who's been so loyal, 10,000 of them could fall off because they are used to you keeping your neck on certain individuals. And don't you dare let up, because now they're going to question who you are as a person. Or they're going to question your motives, like, you ain't never been for the brothers. You ain't never been for the sisters. You ain't never been for women. You ain't never been for men. People out there is waiting for you to slip and waiting for you to mess up. And as a content creator, that's one of the biggest threats, is that if the wrong information gets out about you, that someone can use it against you and taint something that took you so long to build. Somebody could dismantle that. Just one wrong information could dismantle that within a matter of seconds. I mean, it probably take you, what, 3 years to build up your platform? Let somebody get the right information and they can tear it down within 3 minutes. Something that it took you 3 years to build. This is the demonic struggle of the content creator. A lot of content creators, they have to constantly keep, it's a lot of pressure. You got to keep people thinking you got your stuff together. Again, because if there's any false representation, it's going to taint. You got content creators that constantly got to post where they go, how they travel, what they're doing. It's that maintain that image of, not only I preach about I travel. Look at me, I'm traveling. Look at me, I'm on a plane. Look at me. Average stuff people can do and nobody gives a damn. I know plenty of people who travel all the time. You'll never know it because they don't brag about it. But as a content creator, it's different. You got to keep, because you push these narratives and you have programmed your channel to constantly attack a certain group of people. You got to keep your reputation constantly. You got to constantly keep advertising what you got and what you're doing, because you don't want your ops to be able to convince your followers that you're not all of what you say you are. You're not all of who you think you are. You got to show that you're with certain women. You got to show that you're with certain men. If you always talk about all the women you got, all the dudes you got, as a female content creator, you got to constantly advertise because people gonna want receipts. Talk is cheap if you ain't got no receipts. It's a lot of pressure. That's why I really, if my channel never gets any bigger than what it is, I'm okay with that because I don't want all that pressure. A lot of content creators are going through a lot mentally, emotionally, physically, and in some cases financially, trying to appease to their audience. You have some content creators, they have to take a drink before they get online or after they get online. You'll be surprised what people are doing to survive these high expectations of followers. Followers to content creators is like fans to celebrities. You have to keep the people happy in order for your success to take off, your music to take off, your content to take off. And whatever you start, you have to finish. You cannot switch the game. You cannot change the game. Remember when MC Hammer first came out as a rapper and his music was all innocent fun. It was all about dancing and just, you know, back then it was just straight it was, I don't know if they called MC Hammer kind of music rap or hip hop, I don't know, but it was clean cut. Wasn't no profanity. It was all about dancing, having a good time, getting on the dance floor. When that phased out and hardcore hip hop like NWA started taking over, and he tried to go hard doing pumps and the bumps, pumps up, he struggled. His album flopped even quicker because he was trying to follow a trend that he was not built to follow. You always been this hip hop wearing hammer pants, you know, doing flips on the stage, you know what I mean? His rap was all about fun and dancing, you know, having a good time. Now you going from that to pumps and the bumps. You trying to act all thug up, hard up. He flopped as quick as he started. And this is not to knock MC Hammer. I'm actually a big fan of MC Hammer. I love MC Hammer. That's one man I will always respect. People could knock and say what they want to say about him, but guess what? This man was a millionaire. Okay, he gave back to his community. He didn't just shit on his community. He gave back to his community. He gave people jobs as dancers. He didn't just talk the talk. Like, unlike today, a lot of people just talk, they just shit on people, but they're not giving nothing to the community and they're not elevating or building. But he was one of those brothers that did that, and even though he's not as popular as he was, you know, God kept him. He didn't, you know, he could have lost his mind losing the millions. You know, he could have ended up on drugs. You know, he could have ended up in prison, getting involved in all kind of scandals to make back money that he's used to making. Let's be clear. Some people, they don't have the same level of grace of God. Some of us can get in certain situations, and because we have a bond or a connection with God, we can survive certain things. But some of us, we have become so detached from God that all it takes is one bad mistake or one bad choice, and we going up out of here. God takes us immediately. Some of us get so consumed in doing us that we lose our connection with God. And when you lose your connection with God, that means you're more concerned with pleasing the world instead of pleasing him. So what he does is he leaves you to the world. And when the Lord leaves you to the world gets to have their way with you through drugs, through sex, through porn, through alcohol, whatever other worldly devices that are out here that is designed to lead us to an early grave. When you have that blessing of God, he gives you time. He gives you time to get it right. Yes, all of us are going to die. All of us going to have to meet our maker. But so, let's be honest. A lot of us, I know I did it. I've been in situations where I was supposed to have been dead a long time ago. I know a lot of you brothers, y'all was places y'all shouldn't have been. You sisters, you was places you shouldn't have been. But it was the grace of God, because of mercy and grace, and because you do have a connection with him. He kept you. You are here to live and tell the story. A lot of people ain't making it because they got so big, they put God behind on the back burner. And that just comes with the territory. So we got to let God know that he's first and foremost. Whatever your God is, Allah, whatever, you make sure that he comes first before your success. and before your popularity and notoriety. But there's a lot of demonic struggles of the content creator that a lot of y'all don't know about. We are all going through things behind closed doors. Do not put any of us on the pedestal. Do not make us your savior. Don't, because we are dealing with shit that y'all don't know about. And by the time you find out what we are really capable of, you know, it's too late, because you invested all of your love, your money, your time, your worship, and praises into us. At the end of the day, we are all just human beings. So don't get so infatuated with the message that we preach that we're not allowed to fail you or disappoint you. Because it may be some stuff you find out about Mocha later on down the line, like, God, dog, Mocha, but, well, Mocha did say she got issues. She got stuff going on in her life. A lot of these content creators, they know they got a lot of their own dirt they trying to cover up, and a lot of their content is deflecting. That is why they're constantly attacking a certain group of people. Now, you choose who these content creators are. I'm not saying no names, but it's deflecting. Long as I can keep going at this certain group of people, I can hide my demons. I can hide my personal struggles behind closed doors. I don't have to acknowledge this stuff that I'm going through, my struggles that I'm dealing with. Long as I keep putting my neck on these other individuals, nobody's going to notice my faults, my flaws, or my struggles. So anyway, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I just want all of y'all as followers to be aware that a lot of us ain't got our shit together like y'all think we do. We're dealing with different struggles on different levels, and I wish more content creators would be transparent. It's okay to bash, it's okay to show tough love, whatever you want to, whatever you feel is putting black men and black women in check. But at the same time, you also need to be transparent, because guess what? If you don't put yourself out there, when something happens, the world is going to make their own, is going to draw their own conclusion. They're going to adopt their own perception of you, and they're going to take it, run with it, twist it the way they want. But when you are transparent and you are man enough or woman enough to say, guess what? I feel the way I feel about women because of what I went through in the past with women. I feel the way I feel about men because I went through. If shit goes left or personal things get exploited, nobody can use it against you, because you never sit up here acting like you were so great and holier than thou that you had all this room to tackle the people, but then you was able to be discreet about your own personal issues. But anyway, I'm going to meet my husband for breakfast, y'all. We're going to be talking more and more and more about things that, you know, in the black YouTube sector. I'm going to be talking about marriage and relationships. I saw the poll. I see a lot of y'all want more topics on spiritual warfare and things of that nature. So don't worry, I am going to deliver. So I'm going to shut it down before y'all leave. Hit that like button. Hit it right now. I would appreciate it. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. So I'm going to shut it down, y'all. If y'all interested in my hair oils, remember I sell hair oils for women. I got them on sale. $7 a bottle instead of $10 a bottle for my hair oils with 18 herbs that are specifically homemade for myself. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from all the women that are suffering with hair loss and everything. So also I got beard oil for men. Okay, I hand make my beard oil. You're going to be getting beard oil specifically from out my kitchen, y'all. So anyway, I'm getting ready to shut it down. It's your girl, your diva, and I was Lady Mocha. It's Cafe in Paris. I'm always serving you with some knowledge and spiritual awareness. Y'all be blessed. Take care.